Hello, Internet. The Morgan You Know Podcast Network presents Balls and Brew.
Hello, good evening. It is my favorite time of the week. I get to podcast for all of you out there in internet land. Welcome to the Morgan You Know Podcasting Network. My name is Rod Morgan. I will serve as your host for this evening. This is Balls and Brew, our sports podcast here on the network. We're going to give you a little bit of sampling of some football, a little bit of NBA basketball, a little bit of wrestling. We have a special guest for football this week, but as always, we are joined by the executive producer of this podcast, the host of the wrestling podcast, the man that puts all of this together, the wonderful background that you can see if you are watching us on Twitch or YouTube or checking us out later. Not live. We appreciate you watching, listening, whatever platform you're on. Just make sure you give us a like. The man who makes all of that happen is our guy, Jimmy Jamriska. Jimmy, hello.
It's been a lot more fun coming on the podcast these past 5 weeks because for the fourth of the 5 weeks, I love football.
That is right. We all know what that means. The Bears won again. We will get to them shortly. Somebody else who is excited because, as I mentioned him before we started recording and his mind was blown by this, I heard a football podcast put the Cowboys as the fifth most likely team to make the Super Bowl out of the NFC. Chris, your Cowboys are rolling.
Yeah, but the real question is, Rod, how do you feel knowing that this team that you have shunned now holds the number one seed in the AFC? Right?
Shunned. You said shunned last week. Pick your thesaurus up, old man.
The team that you lauded as inferior
Nice.
are now
bad.
number
I'll
one
take
seed
that.
in the AFC.
That takes a lot because you're not quick anymore. That was good.
I got to give him credit for that, Jimmy. He's getting better and better. That podcasting school is really paying off. Shout out to you Major League fans that get that reference. Let's go to our football handicapper, the man who's making the picks, the man who studies the numbers, the man who knows entirely too much about NFL referees. He's our guy, Josh Williams. Josh, hello.
What's up, boys? I just cannot get a 2-0 ATS week underneath me. Last week we had the Dolphins. That was good, under 18.5 points, but could not get the Vikes there. The Vikings got in the red zone 6 different times and came away with 1 touchdown. So felt like I ran pretty unlucky there. But Rod, you will tell me that I should never, ever bet on Carson Wentz. So shame on me.
No, see, you don't need to give me credit for that. What that was, Williams, that was actually just an alert. I set this podcast network up with an alert that anytime someone starts to believe in Carson Wentz, that my voice just comes in and goes, alert, alert, you are betting on Carson. I mean, it's not even me. That's just the thing that happens. Don't ever bet on Carson Wentz again, and that system won't be triggered. I mentioned we'd have a special guest. I received a text message a few days ago, and our man, the Cowboy, Derek Smith, he said, Rod, I got to come on the show. I got some Packers takes. So I said, of course, Cowboy. We love having you on. Derek, hello.
Oh, it's good to be here. I haven't been on. Now it's been 2 times in the last couple of weeks here, so maybe we can make it a regular thing.
Absolutely. Derek is going to give some Packers thoughts. He'll be with us as we go along and do what we normally do here on football. And he's going to join us for a little bit of basketball, fun stuff here on the network. But we always start one way. We get everybody warmed up. They do not know this is coming. This is the cold, open question of the week. And this week the question is simple, gentlemen. What is the dumbest thing that you do? And what I mean by that, okay, is I will tell you what the dumbest thing that I do is. Numerous times, I'm talking an insanely crazy amount of times throughout the day, I create jingles for inanimate objects or things that other members of my family say, right? So let's say I'm walking into the kitchen as the Mrs. Morgan you know is literally asking Van to pass her something. She's like, hey, Van, will you go get me this out of the cabinet, right? And I will walk in, cabinet, hey, cabinets, right? I'm just make a jingle up for cabinets, no reason, right? What I also will tend to do is I will make songs up to the A-Team theme music, or Jimmy, you remember this one, the Crime Stoppers theme. I will do a lot of jingles just throughout the house where I will be like, our dog needs walked, no one will take him out. Like I do this all the time, Jimmy. It is the dumbest thing that I do. I create jingles and sing them out loud.
Rod, it doesn't surprise me. Your dumb thing that you do is both creative and annoying. So that's two
Very
right
good.
there for you.
Very good.
It takes one annoying person to be an annoying person. Mine is also musical. I don't know why I do this, but often I'll just whistle the theme to Robin Hood, the cartoon. The guy's plucking a little guitar. I'm not going to do it now because I don't have to. But I will do that throughout the day. Why not? Just kind of make myself smile, make other people look at me weird. By other people, I mean like my family here. I'm not doing it in Walmart. Maybe I do it in Walmart, but lower volume. So yeah, little whistling. Just good day.
Shout out to that soundtrack. Solid music in the animated Robin Hood back in the day. I absolutely love that, Jimmy Jam. That is a great answer. Chris.
I'm not going to be able to stop doing it now.
What do you got for us, Chris? What's the dumbest thing you do?
Well, just to pick you up back quickly off your guys' music takes, my song of choice when I'm singing to myself is "Don't Worry, Be Happy" by Bobby McFerrin.
Okay.
All the time, over and over again, for decades now. All right, but really, the dumbest thing I do is I work and I sweat and I constantly have to fix my glasses, push them up. I know how to solve this problem, guys. I just don't do it. I've been wearing glasses my entire life since the 3rd grade. It's been a problem forever, and I refuse to do anything about it. It's just a part of life now.
So when you say do something about it, are you talking contact lenses? Are you talking LASIK surgery? Or are you talking just one of those straps that goes around the back of your head and just permanently
You see, Rod, there are many options to fix this issue, and I have done none of them.
Listen, very true. You have 3 options in front of you, and you have chosen none. That is definitely dumb, Chris. That is a good answer. I love that. Williams, what do you got for us? What's the dumbest thing you do?
I also do the stupid musical. Exactly what you do. I put in different words for. I deliver to a certain manufacturing company. Their name is Rental-It. All of a sudden, I get the jingle "Wiggle It," instead of "Wiggle It," I put "Rental-It," just a little. It's the stupidest thing ever, and I can't help it. Every time I get a package for Rental-It, I got to deliver it to it and say "Rental-It," just a little bit. It's stupid.
Shout out to
so stupid.
2 Rooms, right? Is that who's credited with Wiggle It? Is that 2 Rooms? Is that, if we look that up on Spotify, is that who sings that?
It could be.
I'm doing that right now.
Could they be a sponsor? Do they want a new jingle for their company?
I like where your head's at, Chris. Cowboy Derek, you're new to the cold open question.
Gone.
I prepped you for. Oh, we lost the Cowboy. All right, hopefully he comes back in and gives us his Packers take.
He's like, I can't sing. I got to leave.
Oh, Williams, I was a little bit off. It's not 2 room. It's 2 in a room. I was pretty close though when I said 2 rooms, 2 in a room. How about that? Listen, do not challenge me on useless 90s music knowledge. All right, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the NFL and one of the craziest games in the history of the National Football League went down last week between the Denver Broncos and the New York Giants. Jackson Dart was fired up on the sidelines. He thought for sure he had just brought his New York Giants back to beat the Broncos, and the Broncos scored 33 points in the final quarter, a missed field goal, not a field goal, a missed extra point. Williams, what other craziness am I missing from that game?
Yeah, absolutely insane. The Broncos were down 19-0 going into that 4th quarter. This was the record. 1,602-0, a team when leading by 18 points with 6 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Now that record is 1,602-1 because the Giants blew that game. And let me remind you, the Giants scored 5 touchdowns in that game, but they missed the first extra point. So when they missed the first extra point, they decided to go for 2. They missed that, and so then they were thinking was, well, we missed 2-point conversion. Now we're going to go back to trying to kick an extra point. We missed that, so that's how they end up with 32 points instead of 35. The Broncos only score 4 touchdowns, but they get 2 2-point conversions, so that puts them at 30. And then that last field goal that they made ends up the winning score 33-32. But the Giants actually scored 5 touchdowns, and the Broncos only scored 4, yet the Broncos come out on top. It's an unbelievable game.
That's crazy. 1,602. Like, we hear small sample size all the time. That might be one of the largest sample sizes you've ever thrown out at us about a stat. Jimmy, were you checking this one out on Red Zone? How much of this game did you see? Did you only catch highlights? What are your thoughts?
No, we did red zone because we had the Bears and then or the Colts, or whatever it was. Listen, the Broncos missed the highest point total scored in a quarter by 1 point. It was 34 by the Lions. 46 points were scored in the fourth quarter of this game. I'm not a fan of either. I'm fine with whatever. I couldn't handle it, and you knew that kicker was something was gonna happen. Yeah. The kicker misses the field goal. You're guaranteed overtime at worst, and still couldn't get it done. I feel bad because honestly, I think that the Dart and Scatterboo, like, it's cool, it's fun. I'd like them to win. It's horrible. Oh, what a game! What a game!
Chris, I sent a text to you boys early on in that game when the Giants were looking good, and I said, hey, my Giants pick at the beginning of the year starting to look a little bit live. And
that's on you.
That's all it took for the Giants to let the Broncos score 33 points in the fourth quarter.
I mean, if you're a Giants fan and you're watching this game, right, and it's starting to look like, okay, are we still this old Giants team that can't win? And you start seeing plays where a ball gets tipped and somehow miraculously goes into the arms of your player and he's able to jaunter into the end zone untouched, right? You're like, oh, this is perfect. This is meant for us to win the game. You don't have plays like this and lose, right? Well, you do when you're the Giants.
Or you do when it evens out, right? Like the other crazy thing about this game, each team had a tip ball that went to another guy that ended up scoring a touchdown. So it's like karma evened out on that. It was absolutely weird. Chris, I love that you said if you're a Giants fan, you're going crazy during this. Another thing we always like to do week to week is check in on our three favorite teams here on this podcast, the Colts, the Bears, and the Cowboys. Jimmy alluded to it earlier. He's got his Bears hat on. There was a big, fiery speech from Dennis Allen in the locker room after the game, Jimmy. It was the Dennis Allen revenge game. But what are your thoughts on the Bears?
Their running game is unbelievable right now. And now Ben Johnson has to go to the passing game again. You know, people are getting on Caleb a lot for not being as accurate as he needed to be. Didn't have to happen. You know, we had over 200 yards rushing again. So I think we'll be okay there. Caleb is going to come out. And he's got a tough Baltimore defense. I know they're not good this year, but it's Baltimore. It'll be tough. I think the defense played terrific. Little concerned a little bit in that third quarter, end of the second quarter, but other than that, I couldn't be happier. This is amazing.
What's his name? Mungahaga? What's his name?
Kyle Monangai.
There you go.
Real good with Swift. Yep.
Okay, and then DeAndre Swift too, right? It's almost like, hey, DeAndre, this rookie guy's getting some runs behind you. You better start picking it up. And all of a sudden, he was cutting and hitting holes hard there. Chris, you're an impartial Bears observer here. What do you see in this 4-game win streak?
Well, I'm curious to ask these two gentlemen who think Ben Johnson is the new god, I think is what we decided he was for Chicago or whatnot. Lord and Savior.
I think he's just a deity at this point.
And what play is that called when your center pretends to hike the ball and then just stands up and looks around like he forgot what his job is? Is that deep in the Ben Johnson playbook?
It's play 7, Chris. Play 7.
I was gonna say, Williams, you're our playbook guy. You got any insight for Chris on this one?
It's only the first year. There's still a lot of crinks and different formations that we got to.
This wasn't the first snap this center ever played before, right?
Yeah.
You'd hope not.
There's still a few things we got to clean up. But hey, the Bears. When's the last time the Bears won 4 in a row? Like I get the competition, but yeah.
2006 when they lost the Super Bowl to the Colts.
Probably.
Did Lovey? I was gonna say Lovey had to have a 4-game winning streak at some point. I love Lovey. I haven't mentioned Lovey on a pod in a while. Shout out to you, you Morgan. You know, bingo players out there. You just got a Lovey Smith box there. That hasn't been checked off in a while. Chris, I mentioned at the beginning of the pod. I heard one Steven Ruiz, who is a football writer for The Ringer, go on the Ringer NFL show with Shio Kapadia and say that he, of course, has the Packers, and he, of course, has the Eagles, and he, of course, has a few other teams in the NFC. But number 5. Right there's the Cowboys, because Dak Prescott is out of his mind. We want to talk about Indianapolis Jones and maybe a few other quarterbacks, but Chris, Dak Prescott, lighten it up for your Cowboys. Unfortunately, as you've stated, the defense keeps getting lit up too.
Right. Let's all just pray and hope that since the Raiders have came out and said publicly that they talked to Max Crosby and they don't intend to trade him, that he'll get traded next week to the Cowboys or sometime soon, right?
Jerry's got those first-round picks that he got from the Packers burning a hole in his pocket. That was his point the whole time, right? Trade him, get Kenny Clark, and then turn the draft picks into somebody else. That's what his plan was, right?
Yep. So, but let's be honest, right? When Dak is healthy, this is how he plays. He just has really great weapons to be able to use around him, like a full complement of weapons, 2 good receivers, a good running back, a good tight end, and a really good offensive line. So that helps. And this offense is potent, right? We've seen it. Like, the only team that's scoring more points than the boys is the Colts. So it hurts as a Cowboys fan to see us wasting this all-time great offense for Dallas.
Yeah, I like your thought there, though, Max Crosby coming in. I think the Cowboys are definitely going to look to be active. Maybe they're not going to be able to swing for an absolute grand slam and get Max Crosby, but perhaps they'll get some sort of defensive help in there. And Deron Bland continues to make plays. I mean, that's the thing. I'll flip over and watch a Cowboys game, and then somehow this guy's running a pick six back. Like, it's absolutely amazing the number of pick sixes that guy has. The Cowboys, if nothing else, Chris, are exciting. You mentioned it there, though. The Colts, they're flying high. Jimmy, I don't know about you, but I kind of got the feeling that a lot of people thought the Colts were going to fall back to earth this game versus the Chargers. They were going to go out to L.A. They lost out in L.A. before, right? The Chargers defense, Justin Herbert's going to tear this Colts team apart. And Justin Herbert tore the Colts team apart, but they certainly couldn't stop the Colts either, and this train just kept rolling.
I think the problem with the Chargers was they took too long to score. I believe they had 20 straight plays at one point, and didn't come away with points. Colts were handily winning this game, and the Chargers were able to come back. It's the defense. Their offense is on, no question about it. That defense still worries me, though. Again, another test coming up over the next few, more tests coming up over the next few weeks, but they're looking good. Their offense is really, really good, Rod. They can go far. They can go all the way.
Williams, tell me why Jonathan Taylor is having a better season than Saquon Barkley even last year, and people went crazy for Saquon Barkley.
Well, Saquon had a lot of touches last year. Whenever you have like over 350, over 400 touches, it's natural regression that you're just not going to be as efficient. Philly has had a few offensive line injuries, and the downgrade at offensive coordinator. I think we're seeing now how important Kellen Moore was to that Philadelphia team. And I've been saying it for years, it really hasn't panned out. That Steichen is a fantastic play caller, but we just haven't had a chance to see that because either JT's been hurt or there's been random mystery O-line injuries that the Colts have had. So now you finally get Daniel Jones in positive game script. It's so important for the Colts to get out to an early lead, and JT is finally healthy. And so they've been just tearing it up this year. And let me tell you how efficient this Colts team was. And you, Rod, said it. That it said some people thought that they had some regression coming to them this last week. That was me. I thought the Chargers were going to clip them. But get this, the Colts, the stat that is unbelievable for the Colts here, more points per drive. Are you guys ready for this? More points per game than the 2007 Patriots right now.
Whoa.
That, I'm sorry, is not sustainable, but that tells you how good a job Shane Steichen and Jonathan Taylor and this offensive line is doing. The Colts are a fun team right now.
It might not be sustainable all year long, but we are playing the dumpster fire that is the Tennessee Titans this week, so it might continue for one more week. That Titans team does not seem ready to play NFL-level football anytime soon. Jimmy, you know somebody else who doesn't look like they're playing NFL football right now? Your heel of the week. Why don't you tell us about that absolutely dreadful performance?
So here's the deal, Rod. In the NFL, as a quarterback, you have to be able to throw the ball to your team. Unfortunately, our heel of the week, Tua Tagovailoa, threw 3 times to another team. He had 100 yards. He was, I believe, 12 of 23, 100 yards and 3 INTs. I think his teammates hate him because the ones he did complete, his team, the receivers got destroyed on. they're going to keep him around because they have to. They can't really cut him next year because the salary cap would be gigantic. So I think they're just going to write it out and hopefully get a high draft pick. But it's not looking good at all for the Dolphins. They're not even – I mean, that was a pathetic game in Cleveland, which everyone – I mean, I can't even think of one person who thought the Dolphins were going to go into Cleveland and win.
You can't, huh? I appreciate
Nope, not
that.
one.
There was one person who thought the Dolphins were going to go in there and win. Honestly, I thought that the Dolphins liked Mike McDaniel a little bit more. I thought Mike McDaniel wanted to continue coaching in the NFL. I'm no longer sure about either of those points. I kind of think maybe we're seeing Mike McDaniel's just trying to implode himself from the inside and just try to get out of his misery and have the Dolphins fire him. They seem to not want to fire him. And have you guys seen the clip that's floating around? I can't think of the player's name, but like literally the guy that intercepted that one pass from Tua before the snap was like, throw it to me, Tua, and Tua threw it right to him. That was like the biggest give-up interception I've ever seen in my entire life. It is a trash fire down there in Miami, and I am a fool for picking them in the survivor pool, so much so that I can't even crow about telling Williams he shouldn't have bet on Carson Wentz. That's how bad my Dolphins pick was. Let's save your face, Jimmy, for a little bit later. Chris, who is making the Leatherheads team this week?
All right, there's a quick shout out here. This is for Jake Matthews, Atlanta Falcons. All right, 184 straight games in a row this man has played. All right, that's like 11 and a half seasons, guys. He started week 2 of his rookie year and has not missed a game since. All right, that takes heart. All right, so that's our honorable mention. But I gotta have a little bit of a rant here. All right, I started this little thing mainly because we had a guy drafted in the draft this year. All right, Travis Hunter, a real Leatherhead type player playing both ways, the way it was meant to be. All right, and I'm not seeing Jacksonville use him correctly. I thought this guy was a top tier corner in college, and either maybe I need to be worried, Rod, because does this guy not get the defense? He's only getting 14 snaps or less a week on defense.
The one thing that I would say to start off is you were assuming a little bit too much good faith in the Jacksonville Jaguars organization. Would be the first thing that I say there, because I think everything that you say about Travis Hunter and two-way, all of that's absolutely right. They gave a bunch of assets to go get him, but clearly they fumbled the bag on development.
Yeah, I think so. All right.
Yeah, I will say real quick, Chris, I will give him some credit on his first touchdown pass. He caught it. And that's it. He didn't freak out. He didn't, because they were down a lot. I saw that. So that's pretty cool because he knows the situation. He's not full of himself. He caught the touchdown. He walked off. So kudos to him.
Right. I'm glad he got a moment. Right. His first touchdown was a nice one. All right, the Leatherhead. All right, and this is a guy that I saw play in a leather helmet. All right, he's been around for a while. Say his name, and he appears. Joe Flacco.
That's good. How did I not see that coming?
I mean, I'm sorry, but like this guy deserves it. All right, kudos to him coming in and saying, "I can get it done," and that's what he did.
He most certainly did. Listen, Cincy is a live team again. It's fun to see them chuck the ball around the yard, and Higgins and Chase are still out there, and let's go. If he can keep them afloat, your guy Joey B is going to come back. And what I am salivating for, because as Jimmy said before with the Broncos-Giants game, he had no dog in that fight. I don't wish any harm upon the Bengals, but I really don't care about them one way or another. Kind of like Joe Flacco, even though I'm disappointed that he was so putrid for my team last year. But what I want to see happen is Flacco leading the Bengals to a chance at the playoffs, Burrow ready to come back, and then everyone in Cincinnati, while they're eating their Skyline chili, asking themselves, do we want to play a rusty Joe Burrow or the graybeard Joe Flacco who got us here? I cannot wait for that quarterback debate.
I think you still give it to Burrow.
You're probably right. You're paying Burrow a lot of money. I'm sure it probably goes to Joey Burrow. But, listen, I got a little gray in my beard like Joe Flacco does, so I'm shouting it out for the guy.
You and me both, and he still hasn't thrown an interception.
That's right, and he's never going to. He leaves all those to Jameis Winston. Once Jameis gets a chance to play for the Giants, he'll throw like 4 of them, and it'll completely make up for Joe throwing none. Williams, who is going to get the scorn of "Are you serious?" this week. And actually, I know, and I'm a little disappointed, so I'm excited for this.
Yeah, this is a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Are you serious here? We'll get to that a little bit later on. But my coach for Are You Serious is Mike Tomlin. You go back to that Thursday night game against Cincinnati. Okay. He told the reporter at halftime of this game, the Steelers and Bengals game, that they had to stop Cincinnati's rushing attack. I did a double take. I seriously had to rewind that. I said, did he just say that out loud after watching Wizardy Wacko Joe Flacco, who loves to sling it, by the way, go out in the first half and continue to tear you up targeting Jamar Chase? Tomlin refused to make adjustments. This is the exact game where you don't back Tomlin as a favorite on the road, inside the division, on short rest. Did you guys know Tomlin is now 0-7 straight up on the road in the division on Thursday Night Football? You gave up 23 targets to Jamar Chase. 23 targets. Don't worry about trying to stop the run. You have to stop Jamar Chase. He absolutely demolished you. He went for 16, 161, and 1 was his slash line. Are you serious? This version of Mike Tomlin.
Oh, man, I got to say, the Tomlin rah-rah spot brings me an awful lot of joy. Mike Tomlin in dark sunglasses, even though there's not a speck of sunshine in the sky, brings me an awful lot of joy. But you're probably right, Williams. You made a good case.
Is this because the defense is essentially the same it has been for the past 15 years, right? It's pretty stale. I know it's Pittsburgh. They've always had one. But T.J. Watt looks ineffective right now as well. So something's going on. And maybe it's Tomlin.
Listen, we're not exploring that. That's not something we're talking about on this podcast, Chris. Don't ever bring that up ever again. I don't want to think about a world where Mike Tomlin is being blamed for the Steelers' troubles, all right? I totally thought we'd live in a world where Aaron Rodgers would come in and be the scapegoat, and here he is good, and now we have to talk about Mike Tomlin. I don't like it.
And they're 4-2, and you guys are acting like it's the end of the world. Like, I hate the Steelers, and I can't even say that they should be questioning Tomlin when all he does is win, and now he's 4-2, leading the AFC North.
Yeah, well, you know what? Speaking of Tomlin, he's taking on the Green Bay Packers, and that's Williams' first against the spread pick. Josh, what do you got for us?
Okay, so yeah, that is why I said that version of Mike Tomlin was the "Are you serious?" Now I am taking the Steelers +3 -113 on Caesars because this is the time to go with the Steelers. This is the biggest Tomlin rah-rah spot there is all year. Steelers coming off a road loss where they were the favorite. Now they are the home dogs. Extended rest to prepare. Rodgers playing against his former team. Tomlin as a dog off a loss, 65% against the spread. As a home dog, Tomlin is 75%, 21-7 against the spread. If you take him on the money line in these spots, he's winning more than 50% of the time, which is incredible numbers there. Since 2007, the Steelers as a dog, period, 64, 34, and 3 against the spread under Tomlin. That's 65%. The Packers have lost, or their last 4, very lackluster performance. Gave that game away versus Cleveland. Then they let Dallas hang around for a tie the following week. Chris remembers that one. Then they let Cincy hang around and cover. Then last week, another flat performance versus Zona. They were lucky to win that. Now this is their second road game in a row, traveling cross country. And Rodgers, this is obviously Rodgers' first game ever versus Green Bay. Last 3 games, he has 7 big-time throws down the field and is averaging a full yard more per attempt than his first 3 games. Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks in the league versus zone. He is at 8 yards per dropback compared to only 4.4 versus man. The pack plays zone at the 4th highest rate in the league. So you have all those factoring in. This is the ultimate revenge spot for Rodgers. We've seen a lot of revenge spots work out this year. The Bears versus Matt Eberflus in Dallas. Rico Dowdle versus Dallas. The Bears getting revenge on the Fail Mary. So a lot of revenge aspects going their way. I think this is Rodgers' revenge spot here, +3. Give me the ultimate Tomlin rah-rah spot here on Sunday Night Football.
Tomlin rah-rah mixed with revenge. Sounds like you're absolutely cashing to me. Jimmy, your thoughts?
Aaron Rodgers almost hit that Hail Mary. People aren't talking about that. It was there. It could have been caught.
He didn't make an effort. He didn't make an effort in the end zone.
It was there. So, yeah, they're good. And honestly, as a Jordan Love fantasy owner in a league I actually had to pay money for, he hasn't been doing very well lately. I don't like him. I don't like him at all, which means he's probably going to win because I don't want him to. But I really think the Steelers have this one. The Packers are good, but Love hasn't been playing up to what he needs to.
All right, I can get on board with that. We had a lot of love for the Packers when they got Michael Parsons. They were on the hype train at the beginning of the year, and I'm with you that they have had a few lackluster performances. But I'm not going to hold the fact that they could not contain Jacoby Brissett against them because we all know that you can't stop
Nobody
Jacoby
can.
Brissett. You can only hope to contain him.
As a Bears fan, Jimmy, who
Yes.
do you want to see lose more, the Packers or
Packers.
Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, Packer. Listen, I would have taken Aaron Rodgers on the Bears any of the last 10 out of 12 years. Okay, don't get me wrong. He's a good ball player, okay? Kind of crazy in other aspects, but good ball player. I don't like the Packers. I don't want them to win, and the Bears are in their division, Chris. That's the issue. Let's go. I want this division.
I want this division, he says. All right. Hey, we should have mentioned that not only did Joe Flacco make Chris's Leatherheads team this week, but he was also Jimmy's face of the week, so double honors for Joe Flacco. Jimmy, I'm not sure this has ever happened before.
In the history of the entire Leatherhead face heel, no, it has not happened before. Usually the old people don't play as well. But listen, shout out for Joe Flacco. Again, great for every team except the Colts last year.
Exactly, yeah, except for the Colts last year. And you know I'm not going to let him forget about that. And then, Williams, you got some more thoughts for us on the Bengals because you got them versus the winless Jets. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this game.
Yep, you guys are not going to like this. I am taking the Jets. Just end the season. Not so fast, Jets, plus 6.5 on MGM. Let me tell you all the reasons why, and then Jimmy can roast my pick afterwards. Did we not forget that the Bengals were 10.5-point dogs at home versus Detroit a few weeks ago, and they didn't even cover that game? This is still one of the worst defenses in the league. This is one of the worst offensive lines in the league. And you still have a 40-year-old Joe Flacco. I know we just gave him flowers. Who, let me remind you, great story. He still likes to throw the ball to the other team on occasion, just saying. I'm anticipating Tyrod Taylor here, but even if this is Fields, any team can move the ball on this Cincy defense. I don't expect Trey Henderson to go in this game. And Tyrod Taylor, 34, 21-4 career against the spread. He doesn't turn the ball over. That's 62% cover clip. He's 22, 12-3 against the spread as a dog. That's 65%. This guy's almost like Tomlin light here. He's 9-3-1 against the spread when catching 6 or more points like he is here. That's 75% cover rate for Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod is actually the 9th most profitable quarterback of all time, if you can believe that, behind guys like Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Teddy Two Gloves, and Andrew Luck. Rod says, Andrew who? And let me remind you, all who suffer from recency bias. The Jets were 7.5-point dogs in Tampa earlier this year, and they were a minute away from winning that game as Aaron Glenn went crazy dancing down the sideline. Now they are getting a similar number in Cincinnati. I think we can all agree that Tampa Bay is a much better team than Cincinnati. Cincy doesn't blitz, they don't get pressure, and as we know, that has killed Fields this year if Fields does go. And how about this? The Jets D, top 7 in pass and rush success rate. Cincy has not been able to run the ball efficiently behind that O-line this year. And if there is any team that is due for some positive turnover differential, it is the New York Jets. They are -9 in that department. That's the worst in the league. Bottom line, you're asking this Bengals team with no defense, no offensive line, no running game, with a 40-year-old quarterback who's prone to turn it over and a questionable head coach to win by 7 or more. I have to hold my nose here and take the Jets at plus 6.5.
I like it. I can only hope that that is not the pregame pep talk that Aaron Glenn gives to his Jets to try to fire them out to go out and cover that spread for you, where he's like, I'm going to hold my nose, guys, but just go out there and fight for us. You know, I don't know that that's going to get the – I don't know if that's going to make anybody run through a wall, but you made a couple of good points there. Chris, do you think Williams is onto something here with the Jets, or are you kind of like me that they look DOA? I mean, their owner just called out the quarterback. You never see that.
He did not say anything about the Jets winning. He just said covering that spread. So I think that they could possibly cover the spread because the Bengals' defense is not good, right? But I still think they win because I'm pretty sure the Bengals are better than the Dolphins, who the Jets couldn't beat, and the Panthers, who the Jets couldn't beat. So I think Cincinnati will be all right and win this game still, but maybe not cover the spread.
Hey, man, watch out. The Panthers are sneaky. The Panthers are not out of this thing yet in the NFC. Speaking of out of this thing, we should just talk about my Survivor performance over the years. My goodness, I have 3 deaths now. We talked about it a little earlier. I thought for sure that Miami was going to pick themselves up off the mat. That absolutely did not happen. Williams is actually the only current person who did not lose in Survivor last week. He also only has 2 deaths on Survivor this year. So we should start with Williams. We should get his pick because the rest of us have no idea what we're doing. Williams, who are you taking in Survivor this week?
Wait, I don't think Jimmy lost last week. Jimmy had KC.
Yeah, I won last week.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Jimmy. I just assumed because things normally go
no
so
question.
well for
no
you.
question. No, you're fine. You're fine. 2 in a row.
So I'm going to take... You guys all have Indy available, so I'm going to leave you that low-hanging fruit. Rod,
Ouch.
you have actually used the Falcons, so I'm going to use the Falcons here against that terrible Dolphins defense who cannot stop the run. They will get introduced to Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier this week. Let me take the Falcons.
All right, Jimmy, I'm going to go ahead and go here because I'm just going to
go. Hey, but just for the record, I was going to pick the Falcons, so watch out, Williams. When you and I are on the same page,
You can
not
still
good.
do it.
Not now.
All right, I'm going to absolutely this is like everybody's heads are going to explode right now because Chris is giving me crap for being a Bears fan, saying I'm not a Colts fan. I am a Bears fan. I am a Colts fan. But this week, I'm picking the Ravens over the Bears in Survivor. I think 4 wins in a row is just a little too big for the Bears' britches. I think this is a kitchen sink game for the Ravens. They got rid of bags. They got rid of ping pong. They got rid of foosball. All of the fun in the locker room has been taken out. John Harbaugh wants us all to know that he didn't do it. It was the players themselves that decided to do it. So that's how serious they are. Sounds like Lamar might be coming back. I think it's trouble for my Bears. Give me the Ravens over the Bears in Survivor this week.
That's it's going to be a pretty close game, Rod, and I think that's a good call on your end there for those of you who don't believe in the Bears, like Rod. Rod's going to be a man without a team here pretty soon. I guarantee you that. I'm going to pick the Patriots over the Browns. The Browns are actually going to see a quarterback who's good this year. And that defense is great. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going to go Patriots. I think they're going to take care of the Browns.
Like that pick, Drake May is single-handedly saving my fantasy team.
Chris King.
Give me the Colts.
Chris takes the low-hanging fruit. I like it.
I tried to take the Chiefs last week, but Jimmy beat me to it, so I went with the Falcons and lost, and now I'm back on the snide.
Speaking of not on the snide for you, Chris, you can crow to all of us right now because your Wins League squad is on top with 31.
Had a good week last week, didn't I?
You
Good
haven't
job,
had too many
Chris,
bad
yes.
weeks.
6 wins.
Williams, you're clocking in at second with 29. I'm in third with 26. And Jimmy Jam, this is why I just assumed that your Survivor pick lost last week, my friend. You got 21 in the Wins League. Not going well for a couple of your squads.
Let's see. Falcons, Cardinals, Commanders, Titans, Jets. Yeah, not good. Not good at all. Browns won. That was good. Broncos won. Took a miracle, but they did.
Do you think you will get more wins out of your Browns if we see Shador, Jimmy? Are you ready for the Shador experience at this point?
The amount of caring I have about that is just so low. It doesn't matter. They're going to be the same. You can put either one of them back there. It's going to be the same. No, they're not going to win anymore.
Do you guys think the Broncos win this past week was the football gods giving karma back to them for the loss in Indianapolis?
Yeah. It evens
But
out.
you could also look at this way that the football gods got back at the Colts when they lost that game to the Rams that they shouldn't have lost for the call versus Denver.
We beat the Broncos before we lost to the Rams.
That's what I'm saying. So then the football gods got back to us with the Rams loss, right? They made A.D. Mitchell drop the ball for no reason and then holding. And then A.D. Mitchell's basically been in witness protection since that happened. So shout out to him. Maybe he'll be back on the field for the Colts someday. But you know who was back on the court? Oh, Williams, he's got something for us before we go. What do you got?
Yeah. By the way, there could be history made in this Denver-Dallas game this week where it's going to be like 95% of the country is going to get that game because there's two crap afternoon games. So they put Dallas at Denver on this game. So think about this. The greatest kicker in NFL history, yes, Brandon Aubrey, has a chance, I think, mile high to kick a 70-yard field goal, something we have never seen in a regular season game. And there have been 33 lead changes in the final 2 minutes of games so far this season. That is the most ever through this amount of time in an NFL season. Wouldn't it be crazy if this game came down to a Brandon Aubrey ridiculous long kick to see who wins this game? I am here for it. I want to see history. Let this guy kick a 70-yarder in mile high elevation on Sunday in Denver.
Some guy who was supposed to be a substitute teacher in Cleveland kicked a 61-yarder for the Packers. I mean, field goals are just flying in from all over the place. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? It proves my point once again. Why pay a bunch of money for a field goal kicker, and the minute the guy misses a kick, bring in somebody else? Have we not seen the garbage-picking, field goal-kicking Philadelphia phenomenon starring Tony Danza, where a man in his late 40s was able to go out and kick for the Eagles, okay? It has been proven. If we do not learn from history, Jimmy, we are doomed to repeat it.
Over-under on Tony Danza hit, 0.5. Good job, man. Excellent, Williams. Good call.
That's why people come to us, Jimmy. They come to us for Williams' football knowledge and for me to do nonsense like that. And you know what else they come for, Jimmy? The fastest 15 minutes in the NBA. Jimmy's about ready to run us on it because the NBA is back on NBC.
Welcome to the Fast Break, the fastest 15 minutes in the NBA. Jimmy, Rod, and Chris are here. I'm going to try to do one thing real quick here, gentlemen. Let's see if this works. There we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, nice.
It's the Fast Break with Jimmy, Rod, and Chris. Hey, listen, everyone's talking about it. We got to get right to it this morning. Zion Williamson is back. 33 minutes, 27 points, 9 boards, 5 assists. My Pelicans, let's go Zion. I'm excited to see Zion Williamson back. He is going to be our comeback player of the year this year, Rod.
I've watched a little bit. Yeah, you probably are. If he keeps this up, right, he's a guy that's got enough attention always turned on him. So if he stays on the court and he continues playing like he did last night, I caught a little bit of that first Pelicans game. He was smelt. He was quick. He was agile. All the stuff we thought Zion was supposed to be. So if he stays on the court, which we know he won't, I think you're right, Jim.
Chris, we have him, and Ja Morant was back. He's already on the questionable list for on Friday, but that's okay. Ja Morant also was back. 29 minutes, 35 points. It's like 2020 all over again, isn't it, buddy?
Right? I aren't you a little bit just like overly invested in Zion, though?
Yeah, I am. I have a jersey. I bought his rookie card at the absolute peak of Zion, and we'll never ever see any of that money back again. But that's okay. I'm not worried about it. So there's 3 different ways we can go right now. We'll get to the bad stuff, but I want to talk about some good stuff first. First of all, opening night. How amazing was that Rockets game that came down to a timeout, not really. And then Shea with the Thunder keeps Thunder Rockets was so good. And my son and I watched the entire game, probably a little late, but that's okay. We're on Central Time, which is really nice, by the way. I just thought back and forth. That's what the NBA is. It's just so much fun, Rod.
You were absolutely right, Jimmy. That was a wonderful game for the NBA on NBC to premiere with. We got Michael Jordan at halftime. We got a magnificent opening intro, right? I mean, we got Round Ball Rock back. It was absolutely wonderful. Jamal Crawford was a good surprise on the mic. I'd heard him a couple of times do some NBA TV games and some TNT stuff, but I thought him and Reggie and Mike Tirico were very, very good. But Jimmy, you know me. I see things in the game and I spin it forward. And what I can't help but think there is we made a big deal about the Rockets starting 6'7", 6'10", 6'11", 6'11". But what happened at the end of the game, there was nobody who could guard Shea Gilgeous-Alexander because Kevin Durant is nearly a 7-footer, got crossed up by him, fouled him, put him to the free throw line. So I think the Rockets are maybe going to have to look around the league and see if they can get one more wing type, because as much as I want that to be Reed Shepherd, Jimmy, he looked a little lost.
You know what? Tough night for Reed. Didn't handle the ball very well. You know, around December 15th, 16th in there, maybe a little call to Washington for C.J. McCollum might help a little bit with that point guard. He's just going to chill there for a while. Chris, what were your thoughts on that game?
I think if
Chris,
I think if you are like a true NBA head and you watch it in this game, you see like real NBA gamemanship, trying to work the reps, trying to get things to come your way, drawing people into the foul, working mismatches on offense and defense. Like, you saw real quality NBA basketball, I think, in that game.
For a season opener, that was awesome.
For a season opener, it was terrific. And then for the second day, we saw one of the best basketball games I think I've ever seen. There's so many stats on the Wembanyama performance. Again, you watch the whole thing. I watched the entire game up until when he went out, obviously, and it was over. Brian Windhorst had some stats today that Wembanyama took 2 3-pointers, and he didn't take less than 5. He only took less than 5 twice, I think, last year. He took 70% of his shots from inside the paint. He dominated 40 points, block shots, doing this step back threes. Rod, unbelievable.
Yeah, listen, I've seen a lot of great hopes roll through the NBA, right, Jimmy, being a fan for as long as we have, right? Like the list of guys that we were told that were going to be great that ended up doing various levels of great, right, to all the way down at the bottom to complete washouts, to guys who were maybe supposed to be next generation superstars who only ended up being a couple of time all-stars, right? Like there's all types of ways you can fall on the spectrum. So I was a little bit guarded about how skinny he was. I still frankly see some of that skinniness in trouble in Chet Holmgren in the, in that Thunder Rockets game. You just saw some times where he was getting beat around by actual men out there. So, but Victor solved that problem by going and working with the Shaolin monks and apparently lifting every day this offseason, because you can tell he is thicker. You can tell he is somehow quicker. You can see he's even taller, if that's somehow even possible. Like I love what you mentioned, Brian Windhorst. I love what he says. There are no limits when it comes to Victor Wembanyama, and that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm not putting any limits on this guy. He might be able to win 4 or 5 MVP awards. He's certainly going to win the next 6 to 7 Defensive Player of the Year awards, and if he stays healthy and the Spurs bring in a few other pieces, they're going to be tough.
Really tough. Speaking of, we are in such a good place right now, Rod, because we have someone who has literally seen every professional basketball player play basketball. He was there when the first bucket was put up. Chris King.
It's on the side of the barn.
Seen anything like Victor Wembanyama?
I was nervous when Victor got drafted. I thought that the possible cons of the future outweighed whatever he could possibly bring. And the first few years have been kind of up and down. Flashes of real possibility, but let's get through a full season. But this is something that I have to stop doing and putting limits on people, right? Because for one, that was a spectacular performance he put on the other night. For two, we live in a world now where a guy who plays professional baseball can go out, strike out 10 dudes, win the game, and hit 3 home runs in a game 4 to go to the World Series, all right? So we can see that we are living in a time where we can be in the midst of something that's going to be truly special and great. So, I mean, as long as this dude stays healthy and stays, I think, yeah. I don't think there's anything we can do. I don't think there's going to be another Defensive Player of the Year if he keeps playing like that either. It's just going to be him every year.
Every year. We also would be remiss. It was Cooper Flagg's debut as the number 1 pick in the NBA draft, and he had a steal. First possession of the game, steal. Pass to AD. AD throws it up. Cooper comes down, and the tomahawk miss on the jam there, and really kind of set the tone for the rest of his first half. He did come back and had 10 and 10 to end, but I mean, it was fine. Nothing major. he looked okay. He didn't do anything special in that. But really, all positive news as far as the games go. But
we have to do something about this situation. The momentum is dying.
I don't understand no more distractions.
But I do believe we should all follow one path in life.
Hubris and ego and pride. Sorry, all that was a complete lie. Yes, Rod Nation, unfortunately, at a time that the NBA should be able to celebrate another season and all of these wonderful performances. Jimmy just highlighted a few and even left out a couple, like VJ Edgecombe absolutely lit the world on fire the other night in his debut for the 76ers against my Celtics. But here we were this morning, minding our own business, and all of a sudden, boom, we start getting the breaking news alerts from whatever service you decide to get notifications from. Mine in particular was ESPN. The FBI is arresting Chauncey Billups. What? Then seconds after that, the FBI is arresting Terry Rozier. What? In connection with gambling. And then more and more stories start to filter out, and you find that there's poker games being played in back rooms, and Chauncey Billups is luring people back there, and the Italian mob's behind it, and Terry Rozier's throwing games, and Damon Jones is telling people when guys are sitting, and Damon Jones is really, really close with LeBron, and a LeBron game is now wrapped up in this, and it's just, we talked about how getting in bed with professional gambling could be thorny, and here we are, okay? I understand the argument of put the sunshine on it, we're in the light of day, the fact that it's regulated made it so that this stuff could be caught. I get all of that. But we also live in a world where these guys found it profitable enough to make huge bets on Jonte Porter and Terry Rozier in random March games against the Milwaukee Bucks and the Toronto Raptors. And, like, we just shouldn't have that opportunity, okay? We have too much information that gambling is addictive, and there's so many ways that these books can make money off of gambling anyway that they don't have to set these kind of ridiculous parlays. Like, what was the baseball scandal where they literally had you could bet if the first pitch was going to be a ball or a strike? Like, who's surprised to find out that maybe a pitcher decided to himself, you know what? It wouldn't really be any skin off my back to intentionally throw a ball the first pitch of the game. Like, we just shouldn't be able to bet on some things, and some of the stuff should have limits, and that would discourage people from trying to do some of the stuff that's been alleged. Again, let me say alleged in today's FBI report. So, Jimmy, I hate having to do a Rod Divination like that at the beginning of the year, but it had to be said.
It did. Chris, I know you're the biggest conspiracy theorist I know. This is all, you've had this all along, right?
Well, we saw the...
Chris, you there, buddy?
Can you hear me now?
Oh,
Yeah,
Rod...
we saw the beginning of this back in the summer.
I can hear you now, yeah.
We saw the beginning of this back in the summer when a Mr. Gilbert Arenas was arrested and then indicted on a similar instance where during one of these so-called illegal poker games in a rented Hollywood Hills house, there was a murder. Police got involved. They found out about the illegal poker games, and the FBI then gets involved. And so you find this out. And, of course, with illegal poker, you get mentions of the mob. You get mentions of every other type of thing. And you find out that then, of course, if it's the mob, they are going to use every trick in the book to make sure the house continues to win on these poker tournaments. So, of course, they're going to have rigged shuffling machines. Of course, they're going to have people that can have, use a different type of light source to see what the cards are going to be or anything else to cheat the system. It's crazy, and it's probably all true, right?
Yeah.
They get involved. It's a high rollers thing. The mob rigs the game so their guy wins and they get their cut plus the house cut. You use the lure of NBA players and coaches to get these high rollers to these games. People can't pay their debts, whether they're other bettors, players, then they're forced to be like, okay, I got to give up some dirt. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and fake this injury so I can leave after playing 9 minutes and get hit all my unders, all right? Here's how I can pay off my debt. Like, of course, this just makes too much sense not to be true.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, a lot of stuff coming out of the Justice Department right now I'm not sure about, but this one looks when the indictment is that big, they've got something. When the indictment's a half a page, probably don't have very much. And this is big. I mean, a sitting NBA coach is no longer a coach in the NBA because of this. And
no longer going to be associated with the NBA in any way, shape, or form, I'd imagine.
No. Done. And honestly,
it sounds like a scheme out of Goodfellas, right?
Oh yeah,
it does.
It sounds exactly
the
something.
Donaghy thing, and honestly, this is just going to come down to the NBA is going to have to tell their teams by 10 a.m. Eastern they're in or out. That's it.
This is good.
It doesn't matter. Hey, could they maybe play? Oh, maybe. Yeah. Well, guess what? They can't play. They're either in or out at 10, and I'm sure someone will be able to figure out how to manipulate that as well. This has been going on for decades and decades, and it's just a little easier now to place those bets, I think.
I'd like to call about 10 a.m. though, Jimmy.
Rod's,
oh, I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
Well, to your point in Rodham Nation, Rod, the NCAA just passed a ruling that's going to allow college athletes to bet on pro sports. So now you're going to have a situation where now these college athletes can get essentially addicted to betting on the professional sports. And by the time they become professionals, they're going to be like, okay, now I have information that I didn't have before. I have friends still that are in college. I mean, it's a whole new thing, and then you're going to have these 18-year-olds with this millions of NIL money betting daily on gambling sites.
And there's no amount of money that doesn't want you to have more money, apparently. I mean, we see that in the world today. We've seen that. Obviously, Chauncey Billups has made, if not hundreds, tens of millions of dollars in his career. And is making a few $1 million a year as a coach as well, and just whatever happened with that. So before we get to the Kings Hardwood hierarchy, I do want to mention a couple other things, and then Rod and Chris, I want you to talk about anything you want to too. Rod, the Clippers, did they just give up, and the Jazz are going to win the championship? Is that how this is going to go? The Jazz scored like 80 points in the first half? Like, seriously?
Nothing better than one game overreactions, right? The Clippers are done. The Jazz are winning the championships. Or my 1 week overreaction, the Philadelphia 76ers have the best backcourt in the NBA. Tyrese Maxey and DJ Edgecombe, absolutely unstoppable. They torched the Celtics, although I'm not entirely sure how fair that is. My Celtics, it's going to be a long year. Jimmy, I think you might be able to get some run in the middle for the Celtics. That's how bad the Celtics big man rotation is right now.
Yeah, not looking very good. And shout out to Joel Embiid. Hadn't played in 8 months. Didn't play very well, but played. So that's a step in the right direction. I'm not saying that because he's on my fantasy team. I'm just saying that because it's nice to see that he was back playing.
Didn't play in the fourth quarter, though, Jimmy. I got to admit, I found that a little bit. This is a guy making $50-some million, and a couple of years from now he's going to be making $65 million, and your coach chose to not have him out there for the fourth quarter.
I literally think he's on a whatever minute restriction. I think it's
Fine.
like 20 minutes
have the
and
minutes
he's
that
done.
He can play be in the fourth quarter if he's your best player.
Yeah, he played 20 minutes. Yeah, it's 20 minutes and done. So that's what it is for Joel. Chris, anything you want to hit on before we get to the Kings Hardwood hierarchy?
No, but you did steal my thunder just a little bit because the Clippers will make this list. Bring it up.
All right, here we go. The Kings Hardwood hierarchy.
Cue it. Yeah. Love Mike Breen.
Still working on the graphic for that, Chris. AI's not easy with trumpeteers and basketball courts together, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
You guys got to check
probably
us out on
breaking the
YouTube, by the
system.
way. Jimmy Jam has been over the moon this evening with the graphics. Looking great. You got to check us out on YouTube. Good stuff to be seen there. Plus, I've been changing hats for every segment.
The King is still going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder, all right? They came in as the King before the season started, and they won a brutal back-and-forth game, taking it to double overtime on a night where they got their banner you could fault them for not being 100% in and ready to go, but they locked it in and locked it down, so they're still the king. That makes the queen the Knicks. I'm sorry. That team looked like a legit, well-rounded team the other night. All right, let's be honest. Anunoby looked good. Towns looked good. Brunson looked good. So, yeah, they impressed me probably more than just about anybody else, besides maybe the Prince, which is now the Spurs, because, of course, Victor made them look like world beaters and finals. I mean, maybe they can win the NBA Cup this year. All right, let's shoot for that first, Spurs. All right,
Nice.
and then of course the jester. All right, for that atrocious game, first quarter, first half, whatever you want to, every part of that dismal performance from the Clippers. You're paying Kawhi so much that he can only get you 10 points in 30 minutes. I'm sorry, that's sad. And he got
was so
outscored
bad.
by 5 other Clippers. Five
Yeah,
other
he was so
Clippers
bad.
outscored Leonard, and they still they couldn't win.
If Aspiration had not gone bankrupt, they would have asked him back for the $28 million. He played so bad. That's what would have happened after that game. They'd have been like, Kawhi, I know that in your
really
contract
funny.
it says you don't have to do anything, literally, but we're going to need that no-show money back because you were absolutely terrible on the court tonight. Kawhi. I believe they called him Kawhi, too.
Did they? Okay. Just
That's how he
making sure
played.
that's where we were with
It was
that.
a secret code word.
All right. Oh, my things are not working. There we go. I think that works. All right. With that, you've been listening to the Fast Break, the fastest 15 minutes in the NBA. Coming up next is the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows podcasting network.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye, Internet.
Sorry about that, Chris. I still getting used to the media section on Riverside on timing and things like that, but we'll get there. We'll get there for sure. Welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows podcast. And in the ring, Jimmy, Rod, and Chris. And we had a lot going on in the world of professional wrestling, WWE side. I think the number one thing we have to talk about is our new United States champion, Ilya Dragunov. Rod,
Go.
how pumped were you for that?
Oh my goodness, Jimmy. I literally, you get to the point where you're a little disillusioned of storylines sometimes. You're a little bit like, what are we doing? What's happening? My guy's down. You know what I mean? I'm like, I need a pick-me-up. And then I'll be damned if that Russian who just has so much passion and can sell like nobody's business comes waltzing down that ring and he beats Sami Zayn. And man, I was like, this is why I love wrestling. Let's go. Absolutely loved it. I got a new favorite guy, Jimmy. I'm a Dragunov guy. I'll wear the Seth hat in honor of my guy while he is on the shelf, but I am officially a Dragunov guy. Let's go.
I really wish the solo walkout would not have happened until after the match was over, but it didn't really have anything to do with the end of the match. I was fine with that. Chris, were you surprised that they gave it to Dragunov there? You had to have been, right?
I was shocked. Absolutely shocked. I was like, okay, he's back. We know he had this bad injury. Let's see how good he is on this first match back, right? Like, so I expected to see not that, right? I'm sorry, but I did it. I was floored. I was so happy. I'm not a a Sami Zayn fan. I'm just happy.
Wow. I thought that was great. I thought the back and forth throughout the match, the hard hitting, Dragunov is known for that. And I really, though, Rod, I want him to keep the U.S. Open Challenge makes every SmackDown exciting. Even when The Miz comes out, you're like, oh, it's crappy. And then he wasn't the guy. That was great. But I really like that, and I hope they keep that moving with Dragunov. I think that'd be cool. I don't think they're going to, though.
No, I'd imagine they won't. And that was the thing that you kind of knew that, like, Sammy wasn't long for the belt when he whipped out the challenges. And it was cool to see people come back, right? That's the other thing that's good about the open challenges is it gives you a nice platform to bring somebody in, right? Dragunov, boom, immediately gets a cool storyline. So that's wonderful. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. I don't think Dragunov's going to be. I'd love to see him wrestle every week, but I don't know that he's going to have open challenges.
Mm-hmm. And then on SmackDown 2, so there were rumors going around about Jacob Fatu being out, but the entire night said it's Fatu and McIntyre for number one contenders match going against Cody Rhodes at Saturday night's main event, up until they introduced Jacob Fatu, and then it goes to the back, and there's a big girder on him. His teeth are on the floor, mostly because in real life he's got to have like some dental surgery or emergency something or another. So it's a legit injury to his mouth. They handled it the best I guess they could have in that aspect. I will say, it's his hometown, and you're giving us Fatu the whole time when you know it's not going to happen. If you're going to bait and switch like that, Chris, giving us a world championship match on the fly is a pretty good bait and switch.
Yeah, and you guys have always told me to don't expect the hometown hero to get the flowers, right? Like, they're going to... So, of course, like, in his hometown, everyone expecting one thing, and you get something else. So, I can see that happening. But, to me, that's not the biggest story. The biggest story is what happened after.
Well, okay, go ahead.
No,
We'll get Rod. We'll go to you, Rod. Go ahead.
No, because I'm just going to get... You know I'm just going to give Drew my love, so no. There shouldn't have been a contenders match, all right? Drew just needs to face Cody one-on-one and
he had his chance, Chris. He had his chance and blew it.
We can't have some cheating ref in the ring during this match. And then they tried to fight again, and they had that same ref in the ring. The fix is in, all right? WWE and Cody don't want Drew to win.
We'll get to refs again on Raw, but Rod, let's talk about this. Bait and switch here. We have that championship match at the very end. Cody comes out in his tie and suit. Gets a little heelish at the end with that belt shot, Rod. Thoughts on that?
You were being far too forgiving here, my man. You were being far too forgiving to the WWE for this atrocious match that they gave to us. Fine. You want to call it a belt match, Jimmy, but you know as well as I do that there's no such thing as a real match where a dude wrestles in a suit, okay? It's not a real match when a dude is in a suit, all right? And Cody kind of, sort of, heelish move at the end. He straight out cheated, and you know it, and you just don't want to say it, all right? He straight out cheated at the end. That's a full-out heel maneuver. He took out the heel Drew McIntyre. The only way to become a heel is to out-heel a heel. Cody's turning heel.
All right, so Cody was very angry that Jacob Fatu was injured. Cody talked with Jacob earlier in the backstage segment. Drew McIntyre, Chris, even though he is a heel, he never lies. Drew said he didn't do it. Chris, Cody Rhodes did it to Jacob Fatu. Cody Rhodes is the one who pushed it, right?
Of course. Part of this story of Cody Rhodes has been his feud with the Bloodline, all right? Fatu is a member of said Bloodline. All right, of course Cody's going to take them all out.
He's not a member of the Bloodline.
By the way,
just
for the record, just for the record, going back to the fast break, the fastest 15 minutes in the NBA, Pacers, Thunder, overtime, baby. Oh,
yes, sir.
You can't make this up.
Sir.
You can't make this up. Pacers scored with about 6 seconds left, from what I saw. But anyway,
we could tell that you weren't fully invested in the wrestling show, Jim, and at least now we know why.
I am typing a lot of stuff here, Rod, because Chris brought up something that we needed to talk about. Referees trying to throw a match for Dom Mysterio, Chris? You're telling me, Chris, that all the refs for this battle royal couldn't see Dom thrown over the top?
Listen, we get told every week that what the refs say goes, all right? And I have been saying for months now that there needs to be an investigation. We need to get some things happening and lock down on these referees in these matches. All right, and now all of a sudden you guys are upset because they get distracted by some dudes that are fighting on the other side of the ring.
Some dudes?
Well, yeah. And,
no, you're
and
fine.
Dom takes advantage, all right? I've also said on this pod many times that Dom is a genius, all right? He is going to take advantage of the situation in any way, shape, or form. Probably should have won that Battle Royale.
He might. I thought he was actually going to after that happened. But sorry, I digress. We're going to circle back real quick. Going back to SmackDown. Wyatt Six and MFTs confront each other again, second week in a row here. Rod, I think the best thing the MFTs have ever done is put the face paint on.
Yeah, that was nice. Good for them. We're going to try to cook up some sort of excitement for a War Games match. I don't think that will be the main battle at War Games in San Diego. I think they'll give us a couple other storylines that people will be a little more excited for, but they still have to have a War Games match. So truck the Wyatt Six out there, truck the MFTs out there, put the big tall guy in the cage. What's his name? Fonga Tula. What's his name?
Tua Tagovailoa. Yes. Yeah.
Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah. Well, he's not quarterbacking for the Dolphins much longer, so he can join up with the boys too. Bring him in.
So last week we speculated on several different ways the WWE could make a very interesting world title tournament, championship, something like that. And they went back to the old adage of we're just going to do a battle royal to see who's the number one contender. I thought this was kind of lazy.
Kind of.
And once you see, I'm the middle guy. Rod, you need to help me with this. It was crap because look at the people who are in the battle royal. There were only 3 people that could actually have won that, or 4 people maybe that could have won that, and it boiled down to the people you thought it was going to be anyway. So why even do it? Just do a fatal 4-way. And do that instead of this whole battle royal thing. I mean, it's a good battle royal overall, but I don't know. I didn't like it, Rod.
Can we get a well-being / missing persons ad out for my guy Eric, because somehow we put Tozawa in that match, right? Otis, who we hadn't seen in weeks, he's in that match. We got Ivar, Eric's tag team partner, but somehow Eric can't be in it, right? Almost like I just imagine Eric gearing up with Ivar. All right, I'm ready for the battle royal. Whoa, big fella. We don't need you tonight. We got Tozawa. All right, we're fine. We're fine with the Tozawa situation over here. No, listen, I'm gonna do a rant here. All right, what does LA Knight have to do, Jimmy? What does he have to do? How much more over with the crowd does he have to get? How many more bangers in the ring does he have to produce? How many more great catchphrases and sweet t-shirt merch does he have to come up with before the WWE gives this guy his shot? Punk walks down to the ring. Knight's standing there. We get him staring each other off. We get CM Punk saying, I hope it's you. We get LA Knight back at him. I'm like, let's go. And then we get Jay and Jimmy fighting each other. Come on. Like, I don't want to come out hating on the Usos because I love these guys. They're absolute fabulous professional wrestlers. I dig the gravitas of the entire Anoa'i family and bloodline story. But come on, man. Come on. Jay throws Jimmy out of the ring, and now they're mad at each other, and Jay's trying to be like Roman. Like, I just don't care. Give LA Knight his shot.
Chris, I think that was a pretty good synopsis of everything that happened in our feelings. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Because for me, and I know I am being very selfish in this right now, all right? Because I don't like Phil. I don't like Jay. And now I have these two schmonos fighting for a championship belt. I'm
sorry, what was that word?
Schmonos.
That's a new segment right there. That's what that is. The Schmono of the week. That's gold.
But it's a belt that's important, and for me personally, like I'm not going to care about either one of these guys who comes out with it, right?
I almost agree, Chris. I'm not going to go all the way there with you on Phil because I've turned the corner, but I would be disappointed if this is how he wins the belt. In a vacation situation where he takes out Jey Uso, who I'm also not going to go as far as you did say you don't like Jey Uso. I'm not there yet. I'm a little worried about the storylines we're doing right now, but I still love me some Yeet, all right? I'm not going to fully jump on board the hate train yet, but Jimmy, I don't want to see our guy win the belt this way.
It's not quite a WrestleMania main event championship win, is it? It's a Saturday night's main event against Jey Uso,
In Salt Lake City.
it's got to be because Jimmy is going to somehow. I actually think Jay is going to be distracted by Jimmy not helping him do something that would cause a disqualification or something like that, and then Punk wins that way. We have seen the Usos wrestle. We have seen them wrestle at WrestleMania. It did not work.
No.
It didn't.
No.
Jimmy's a great wrestler. Probably better than Jay, honestly. Jay just has the yeet thing going more. I don't know how many people care right now. I'd like to see something new, and I don't think we're going to get it.
Here's the other thing, Jimmy. We got to go in on this. Why in the world are you bringing out Heyman, Breakker, and Reed at the beginning of the show? Breaker's carrying the belt. As angry as it makes me, he looks like $1 million damn carrying the belt. You're getting heat. You got Heyman in the ring with Pierce. You're getting heat. Then you get heat backstage, and neither one of them are in the match. Come on, Jimmy. What are we doing? They can be in the match and lose, and you get even more heat. Why are they not in the match?
I think they could have done they're not in the match better, for sure. In the backstage segment was kind of crap.
This is why the Battle Royale sucks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you can't get them into a situation. You could have dragged this storyline out by have a Battle Royale with all these Tawagaza and everybody else, right? Have that. And like, hey, you win. You other guys on the low cards, like you win this battle royale, you get a spot in this 10-man or 8-man, whatever, right? And then you can have your Jay, Jimmy, your Braun and Bronson, your LA Knight, and your Phil, right? I don't believe Phil deserves to have a match for the title automatically.
Stop it. Even though you don't like him, you know he deserves it. Stop it.
He needs his rematch still, right?
He needs his rematch with the man, not for the belt.
Whoa.
Wait for Rollins to come back and get his rematch. But this is a whole new thing. That belt was vacated, and we need to find out who the top two people are. Maybe he gets Braun in the bracket and can't get past Braun. Right?
No, listen, I agree that they took the easy way out with this. Not even easy, just the not really creative way out. The AI creative way, if you will, out of... yeah, I know. Well, WWE's going AI, right? Which is a story that's completely overblown, by the way. But anyway.
It's shocking that the WWE would look for a way to cut corners and make money. I'm completely floored by that one.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you have to pay more for the AI version of Raw, right? So we're going to get CM Punk against Jey Uso at Saturday night's main event, along with, and it's November 3rd, so I think it's in a week or so. And then we also have...
November 1st. It's Saturday.
November 1st, I mean. Yeah, November 1st. And then we also have Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre.
See, again, that's what I mean. Chris, you're going crazy at the beginning of the show. Your guys got another championship match on Saturday night's main event. How many championship matches do you want Drew McIntyre to get?
As many until he has the belt.
Just as long as you
two
admit
changes
your
on one
hypocrisy
show.
here. Just as long as you admit your hypocrisy here.
I'm not going to be happy until Drew has a belt and LA Knight has a belt.
They're competing for almost the same... Well, I guess they're not really competing for the same belt, but...
And then finally we have AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defeating Finn Balor and JD McDonough, who haven't even put up the titles in 100 days or something like that. It's been crazy. Styles and Lee winning the belts. I love it. Styles is kind of on the upward swing here. Give a little rub to Dragon Lee, who's very, very good in the ring, just they haven't done anything with him.
So are we calling this tag team AJ Lee? Is that what we're calling this tag team?
It has to be AJ Lee. Unbelievable marketing. Has to be AJ Lee. Love it.
Let's call this tag team AJ Lee. I'm all about it for AJ Styles. And I also, Jimmy, love the fact that we had a match versus him and Finn, right? And we had some good stuff with him and Finn back and forth. I'm trying to talk this into existence, Jimmy. Like we have a record on this podcast of being able to talk a few things into existence. And I want this Bullet Club thing to happen. Let's go.
I would love to see the Bullet Club thing happen for one last run. And honestly, Finn and the Judgment Day have not been seeing eye to eye as much, really for months and months and months now, even probably a year.
Let's just end it. Let's just end it. Dom can stand on his own at this point, right? We got Raquel and Roxanne are doing enough, and then Liv will come back, and then there's a feud cooked up with them, and then JD can just go and be a guy with the big head who fights people and loses. You know what I mean? It's fine.
And there's no more Carlito, too, right? Where's the comic relief?
He got let go a long time ago. Yeah. Listen, he was making way too much money, Chris.
They could bring
Way
in
too
our
much
truth
money.
again. He's still
Nah,
around.
The time has passed. R.I.P. Karrion Cross as well. With that, you have been listening to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows podcast network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Chris, and Rod.
I'll tell you what, we did 3 shows for you this evening, and we got out in under an hour 20. That is pretty darn good. We thank all of you out there with us, and all we ask is you tell a couple of friends. Get us a couple more listeners, a couple more viewers. That's all it takes.
Goodbye, net. Yeah.
Yeah. No respect for
miss you,
LA
Seth.
Knight.
We miss you, Seth.
Yeah, no respect.